Hey, hello everyone. Uh, Good evening. My name is Lakshman and welcome to this technical lab demonstration. In this video, I am going to walk you through a complete end-to-end architecture of how SSL offloading, load balancing, and web application firewalling can be designed using the Radware SSL Offloader, Fortinet WAF, and in the backend application. So I have created three deployment options. If you'll see on the screen, so option 1, option 2, and option 3, right? Let me option 3, yeah. So as I have mentioned, right, I have created three deployment option, and the purpose of this video is to explain how each option works, how the devices are placed in the flow, and how the traffic moves from the end user all the way to the backend application, right? So let's quickly discuss about the component which I have used in this lab. So in this lab I'm using following components, which is your Radware Load Balancer, right? So I'll start with this Palo Alto firewall. So I'm using Palo Alto firewall as in perimeter firewall, right? So all the internet traffic will terminate here on this Palo Alto firewall, and this Palo Alto firewall acting as an the handling all these traffic, all the inbound and outbound traffic, netting, and all the network layer inspection. All right. So behind that I have a load balancer. So this Radware virtual appliance acting as an SSL offloader and the server load balancer both, right? And in all the option I am using the Fortinet WAF. If you'll see, the Fortinet WAF is common for all the options. All right. And behind that I have a application pool, you can say. So I have a Windows based machine, right? So I have hosted IIS application as a test base on this machine. All right. And I have a DVWA Linux server for vulnerable app testing. All right. And for the certificate, for certificate generation, and for certificate part I'm using this this Active Directory certificate services, which I have hosted on this VM. Okay, all right. So all the devices are connected as per the diagram shown in all the options, right? And now I'll explain the traffic flow for each deployment option. All right. So let's start with option 1. So in option 1, in this design, Radware Alteon is used. This appliance is in used for SSL offloader. Behind that, I have a 14 Web, which is acting as a WAF, used purely for web application firewall. And behind that I have application server behind this, the Fortinet WAF. All right. So I'll quickly explain you the traffic flow. Let's say if the end user try to access the application, right? On let's say if user is trying to access the application on the public IP, which is in this lab. So in this lab I have a public IP pool is 192.168.1.0/24, and this internet user is part of the same subnet, right? So when this user try to access the application, this the traffic will hit to the Palo Alto firewall. Palo Alto firewall has a NAT rule, a static NAT rule, for this Radware SSL offloader. So I have a virtual IP called 30.30.30.10, right here, 30.30.30.10, which is netted with 192.168.111.250 on here, right? So when a user will hit to the traffic 111.250, which is public IP, what Palo Alto will do? Palo Alto will translate back the traffic to this virtual IP subnet. All right. Radware then traffic will hit to the Radware SSL offloader. All right. Radware decrypt the HTTPS traffic, then it convert it back to the HTTP, right, and the clear text HTTP traffic, right. When this Fortinet WAF receive the traffic, it will do the OS threat inspection. All right. SQL injection, attack checks, cross-site scripting, and other attacks, right? Once the traffic is clean, FortiWeb send it back to the backend application, right? And the IIS or DVWA server response and the traffic return through the same path, right? Back to this internet user. Alright, so purpose of this option 1 is to reduce SSL workload on the servers, right? So we have offloaded the SSL traffic from these servers to this SSL offloader. So we have separate SSL offloader device. So as I have mentioned, right, all the traffic will hit to the SSL to this SSL offloader. This SSL offloader will do the the HTTPS decryption here, and from this Radware SSL offloader back to this application, all the traffic will pass through on the HTTP. Alright, so it is very simple design for a small and medium enterprise, you can say. Alright, now let's quickly talk about this option 2. So in the option 2 is fully combined, I would say, security and load balancing. So if you'll see, I have a 3-tier architecture. So in this design, I'm using Radware SSL Offloader, right, purely for SSL offloading. Behind that, I have a Fortinet WAF, which is acting as an only for web application firewall and the application inspection. And behind that, I have server load balancer. Alright, so let's talk about the traffic flow. Again, traffic will hit to this virtual IP, hit to the public IP on this Palo Alto interface. Palo Alto will NAT the traffic. So I have a static NAT configuration, right, for 40.40 to 40.10 from this subnet to this 192.168.1.1.251. So when the traffic will reach to this Radware SSL offloader, it will do the SSL inspection, right? After the SSL inspection, HTTPS traffic will be converted back to the HTTP. Then this Radware SSL offloader will hand over the traffic to the Fortinet WAF. Fortinet WAF will do the inspection, the HTTP inspection. I mean, the application inspection. All right. And the clean HTTP traffic will be handed over to this server load balancer, and the server load balancer will distribute the traffic to all the available application. All right. Now server responses back to this Radware to FortiWeb, then FortiWeb to Radware again, this SSL offloader, then it will reach to the user via this Palo Alto firewall. Alright, so purpose of this option, if you compare with the option 1, so in the option 1 I have a 2-tier architecture where I am using Radware SSL offloader, and this Fortinet WAF is acting as an WAF and the load balancer both. But if I'll talk about this option 2, in this option I have a 3-tier architecture, SSL offloader, WAF, and the server load balancer. Alright, let's quickly talk about the option 3. So in this option, this is a bit complex. I would not say complex, but yes. So generally we see that customer is expecting perform the SSL offloader and the server load balancer via the single appliance, and parallelly they want to inspect the traffic, all the HTTP traffic from the Fortinet WAF. So considering that requirement, I have prepared this design. So if you will see, so let's talk about the traffic flow. So again, user will try to access the application on the public IP address. So in the option 3, I have a VIP, which is 50.50.50.10, which is nothing but your Radware outside IP address, outside the VIP IP address, right? So I have taken one IP address from the same subnet. All right, and this IP address is NATed here on this Palo Alto firewall, right? So when a user will hit to the traffic on 191.252, it will translate to this 50.50 to 50.10, right? The traffic will reach to this Radware SSL offloader. All right, Radware terminate the SSL and it will decrypt the HTTPS traffic into the HTTP. Radware then forward the traffic back to this Fortinet WAF. on this interface, and this Fortinet firewall will do the the will the application inspection, attack detection, URL validation, right, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and so on and so forth. All right, after the inspection, Fortinet WAF will hand over the traffic back to this load balancer, right, on the different interface. So if you'll see, when the traffic hit to this SSL offloader, it after the decrypting the traffic, it will hand over the traffic on this port 1 of this Fortinet WAF. Then Fortinet WAF has an accessibility of this load balancer on the different interface, right. So it will receive the traffic on the port 1, and to provide the application access to the user, it will send back the traffic to the Radware SSL offloader. Sorry, yeah, it is offloader and SLB both, right. Then this Radware has a direct access of this applications pool. All right. So backend server respond traffic back to the load balancer, and this load balancer will again send the traffic to FortiWeb, right, for response inspection, and FortiWeb return the clean response to the Radware, and Radware re-encrypt the traffic, and it will send it HTTPS back to the user. All right. So let's quickly summarize the options. So in the option 1, I have a 2-tier architecture. In the option, we have a 3-tier architecture, and the option 3, we have again 2-tier architecture, where this load balancer acting this Radware virtual appliance acting as an offloader and the server load balancer both, right. So in the option 1, Radware SSL offloader, FortiWeb, and behind this application. In the option 2, I have SSL offloader, right. Behind that, I have a Fortinet WAF, which is Web Application Firewall, and in the backend, we have a Radware server load balancer. All right. In the option 3, Radware acting as an SSL offloader and SLB both, right, and Fortinet WAF acting purely as an Web Application Firewall. All right, so thank you for watching this lab walk you through. If you found this explanation helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more network and security architecture related videos, and feel free to comment if you need if you need configuration steps, CLI demonstration, diagram, HLD, LLD document. All right. And before that, let me quickly show you the test, right. So as I have mentioned, let's try with 250 option 1, right. So I'll try to access this public IP address. Let's take this internet machine. So this is my internet machine. All right, this is internet machine. So what I'll do, I'll access https 192.168.111.250. all right. And we can see I'm able to access the application. All right. In the option 2, I have the public IP address 111.251, which is netted with 40.40.10. all right, this one. So let's try to access this 192.168 to what was the IP address? Let me have a look. 251. I'll say 251. Now I'll hit enter. So basically, this is I have done this what we call host mapping. So this IP address is binded with this host name. So I'll say IIS option 2 = let me try to access https IIS option 2.ccslab.com, and you can see I'm able to access the uh, this application, right, which is backend application 10.151.254.10. So from this internet machine I'm trying to access this application via all the appliances, right. Now I'll show you this option. So in this option 3 I have public IP call 111.252. so 111.252 is mapped with IIS option 3. if I'll hit enter, yes, you can see the IIS option 3 ccslab.com, right. This one should also work. Let me see https iis.ccslab.com. yeah, this is working. So all the if you'll see all the three options I'm able to access from the internet machine by this https iis.ccslab.com, which is mapped with 111.250, and this IIS option 2 ccslab.com, and this is IIS option 3. So what I did, I'll show you quickly. So I have a local host entry. If I'll edit this one, so within this host machine I have done the the local host entry. That is the reason I'm able to access the application through this the URL, with the help of URL. All right. So thank you. See you in the next videos. Thank you.